This is Meteorologist Matthew East, and thank you for clicking on to the Wednesday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Let's start off around the country with a look at the surface map. And still this morning, we have this area of high pressure over the New England states, giving us that cool start to the day. We had a very comfortable start to the day here around the Carolinas. In the Piedmont, we had 50s pretty much everywhere, and even some spots down into the 40s this morning. Some mountain spots down into the upper 30s. So it was a cool, fresh start to the day. There are the 7 a.m. temperatures across the lower 48. And again, you can sort of see what's happening here. There's a cold front right over the plain states, a cooler push of air behind that front, and a nice little warm push of air up ahead of it. So it's in the 60s in places like Green Bay and the UP of Michigan this morning. And then, of course, you have your separate dip of cooler temperatures down here in the eastern part of the United States. Closer to home here across the Carolinas, what we're going to be watching is an area of low pressure that will really begin to crank here off of the coast. And it's going to get pretty strong as we go through the next 24 hours or so. Temperatures this morning, again, it was a cool, comfortable start to the day. A very nice autumn morning around the Carolinas. There's your satellite imagery from this morning, and notice you can already see that cyclonic curvature there with that developing area of low pressure. You can tell the winds beginning to wrap around that system. I was checking some of the buoy data, and there are some 10 to 15 foot seas this morning off of the coast, and the rain also currently off the coast as well, but that will be moving westward with time here as we go through the next 24 hours. The rain will arrive at the coast late today and tonight, and we will see the rain moving into the Piedmont as we get into the day tomorrow. I want to show you this very quickly. I'll talk much more detail about this in the tropical weather video, but just wanted to show you with the 8 a.m. update here. The Hurricane Center at least mentioning the possibility of this trying to become some sort of hybrid tropical system. And there's the view from the Avalon Pier this morning. The sea looking angry there, and frankly, for our friends on the coast, this is going to feel like a tropical storm coming ashore. It's going to be very windy, very rainy, high surf, rip currents, the whole 9 yards. And again, see the tropical weather video for more details on that. In terms of our weather here today, we're going to see a lot of sunshine in the Piedmont, and we're going to be looking at very gusty northeasterly winds again today. We could see some gusts of winds, 25, 30 miles per hour at times. Tomorrow, there comes the rain. Notice that area of low pressure strengthening, moving on shore, and we'll see the rain arrive probably tomorrow morning in the Triad and Charlotte zones. And it's going to be a chilly day. For the Triad, it will be a struggle to make it up into the lower 60s. I think probably mid-60s at best for Charlotte tomorrow. And the rain and wind will be with us. Still very windy tomorrow. Some gusts of wind over 30 miles per hour. So sort of a raw day. Rainy, windy, very cool conditions on the way. This is 2 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning. Rain still with us as that low pressure moves inland, and then the low pressure weakens. But still, this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. We're still looking at some at least occasional areas of a pretty light rain around the area. By Saturday at 2 o'clock, most of the shower activity looks to have come to an end. In terms of rain amounts, this is from the HPC, the Hydro-Meteorological Prediction Center, and they are outlining much of the Piedmont of North Carolina, around an inch or so of rain, obviously much heavier amounts along the coast, and I think that's a pretty good idea. There could be a band that gets some heavier rain, and we'll just have to see if and where that tries to set up as we get into the day tomorrow. All right, looking down the road, Sunday looks like a pretty quiet weather day around here. And let's fast forward now. This is 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, 1 week from today. And that is a very sharp cold front pushing into the eastern part of the country. And a nice push of cold Canadian air behind it. And here we are as we get into early Thursday. That cool air rushing in here on northerly winds. And if that's correct, that'll be the coldest air so far this season. I want to show you this, the European model, not quite in agreement. This is next Thursday evening. It cuts off a low there off to our west. If that's correct, we would not be nearly as chilly, but I think the European is a little off. I lean more with the GFS solution. I still think mid to late next week, a pretty good shot of colder air. And in case you are wondering, here are the average first freeze dates across the state. The high country normally sees a freeze by the middle of October. Spreading down into the foothills by the second to third week of October. The Triad normally by the end of October. We've seen our first freeze in Charlotte, the city itself, on over toward the eastern part of the state, you get the first freeze normally the first week or so of November. So still early for that, but just in case you're wondering, I wanted to show you that very quickly. All right, the blog address, MatthewEast.blogspot.com. My email address, Matthew.East@news14.com. And remember, News 14 Carolina on the web at www.news14.com and on Time Warner Cable Channel 14 in the Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, and Wilmington, Morehead City television markets. That's it for the Wednesday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Be sure and check in with News 14 Carolina on television for all the very latest information, and check back here bright and early Thursday morning for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everyone have a great Wednesday, and God bless.